Is your wife leaving because of porn use? I'm Dr. Trish Leigh, and I want you to avoid that. In this video, what I want to share with you is, first of all, the use of explicit matter, which includes pornography and sexual media on social media or other streaming platforms. It's a brain dysfunction problem. I'm going to show you how and why. Secondarily, you can leave explicit matter behind. You can heal your brain so it no longer needs to go into the screen for self soothing and self stimulation. You're going to learn how to do it in a different way, a healthy way. Then, number three, you can repair the relationship that's ruptured. If it's a relationship that you want, you can learn how to heal the dynamics, which likely have become toxic dynamics. And especially if porn's in the mix, there's definitely some toxicity there. You can learn how to repair the rupture that has happened. I'm going to show you how. So let's dig in. Okay, number one, porn use exists on something that I call the 4D dopamine cycle. So, what that means is your brain has been accustomed, conditioned, trained to go into the screen to get very high levels of dopamine because pornography is a supernormal stimulus. So, when you go to the screen and you begin or even think about beginning to watch porn, what happens is your brain gets a drip of dopamine and it starts to feel good. Science shows that that drip will lead you towards what I call a deluge of dopamine, a flood of dopamine into your system, which helps you escape, dissociate, leave the cares of the world behind, and take you away to an unreality, a fantasy of sexuality at very high dopamine levels. It has nothing to do with the sex, everything to do with the dopamine. So, if you follow that deluge, you will find yourself in a dopamine drowning state, which means that you've flooded your system with so much dopamine, all it can do is be numbed out. It can be taken away from your reality. And what it does is ultimately it leads to the fourth D, a dopamine deficit in your life. So, what we know is that this 4D cycle, what it does is it can increase anxiety, attention problems, depression. It creates a whole host of cognitive thinking, mental, and physical health issues, especially erectile dysfunction and sexual arousal dysfunction. If you're struggling with any or all of that, your brain has been impacted by the 4D cycle of porn. And this 4D cycle, that dopamine deficit makes it so that your life is no longer where the pleasure is. All the pleasure is in the screen, very high levels of dopamine. Dopamine drowning in the screen, dopamine deficit in your life, all because of the supernormal stimulus pulling you back in. So, where the problem lies, the solution lies. What's causing that 4D cycle? It's getting that high level of dopamine in the first place. So let's move to number two is that you can break this cycle. At the core of a porn habit is a dysfunctional brain pattern that has been made by the 4D dopamine cycle. I see it all the time. I've seen thousands of brains with this brain pattern. I offer an assessment called a QEEG brain map. If you want to check it out, it's over at drtrishleigh.com. In that brain map, I can see if your brain is using one of two brain patterns that are created by porn use. The first one I call strained brain. Too much fast speed, too much slow speed simultaneously. You'll feel wired and tired. You'll overthink, you'll overanalyze, you'll feel exhausted, you'll be angry, you'll be irritable. You will feel urges back into the screen to make all that go away. Strained brain is the opposite of healthy baseline arousal. It's the opposite of calm, focused, peaceful joy. So when you're stuck in strained brain, life is difficult and you really want to get back into the screen. If you go back into the screen frequently, consistently, and especially with increasing intensity, And what I mean by that is you find yourself going to more anxiety provoking genres, those that are much more intense, they're violent, they are things you never thought you would end up watching. This is an increase in intensity. It means an escalation in the habit to get more dopamine because there's tolerance building in a porn habit. Your brain will want more dopamine because it won't get as excited from the levels you used to give it. I'll tell you why. It's desensitization in the brain. So if you go back frequently, consistently, and with increasing intensity, you're flooding your brain with even more dopamine. It leads to desensitization of the reward center, which means now you're trying to get rewards out of your life and it's not working. It means now you go to be with your partner, it doesn't work either. You need a level 15 stimulus from the screen to feel good about your life and especially to have a sexual experience. So this creates a whole host of problems, but that I call drained brain. So if you tip into drained brain, you'll experience sexual arousal dysfunction, usually delayed ejaculation and ED. You will have anhedonia, which is a big word for it's difficult to feel anything, especially sexually, but you also don't feel the highs anymore. You might not feel the lows, but you don't feel the highs. You're pretty numbed out because your brain is stuck in drain brain. It's artificially stuck in neutral from all the dopamine. But your brain can heal. These are dysfunctional brain patterns that I can see on the QEEG, but that they can be healed through the beauty and the power and the wonder of neuroplasticity. So when you stop desensitizing your brain and you begin to resensitize your brain, it can heal using neuroplasticity. What does that look like? I use state of the art technology, very high tech solutions to regulate your brain and to basically erase that dysfunction. And it's like a workout for your brain. So if you get overweight and really unhealthy in your body and your physique, you use a workout to get yourself back in shape. Plus, you start eating well. I use technology to give your brain a workout. And basically, we can get it back in shape and resensitize it so it no longer needs porn and it no longer feels that dopamine deficit in your life. Your life becomes a beautiful place to be, which means you're no longer being pushed back into the screen because you're unlinked and unwired for the need for high levels of dopamine. So, number one, porn use is a brain dysfunction. Number two, you can heal your brain from porn use and bring it back, maybe for the first time ever, to the optimal state. So, we do that using brain training, and you can check that out over at my website too. Now, moving on to number three, what about your relationship? Your wife's leaving. She's probably leaving because of the anger, the irritability. You're not opening up to her. She knows you're using defense mechanisms. You're hiding something, whether that be porn use or whether that be sexual acting out in other ways. She knows something's up and she doesn't want in on it anymore. She's decided to leave. That's what we call a rupture. It's a rupture in your relationship. Now, ruptures don't feel good. They're like getting a big wound in your arm. It doesn't feel good. But if you get the stitches, and I call neurofeedback, the brain training that I use, the stitches, what it allows you to do is to heal. And in the case of a ruptured relationship that may have had a foundation of dishonesty because of porn use, you're actually poised to have a better relationship than ever before. And especially if you learn these two things: positive interactional skills, higher level emotional intelligence that allows you to interact in new and different ways. And number two, you learn how to communicate your thoughts and your feelings, and you open up to your partner in new ways. She will want back in on that because you won't be using porn anymore. You will have unwired your brain from the need for it. You will have rewired your brain to the optimal state, maybe for the first time ever. Your life will become a beautiful reality that there's no need to escape from. And you will take the opportunity of rupture to repair through improved emotional intelligence, interaction, and communication skills. That's what you can do through this opportunity of healing from porn use. If you want help, please go over to drtrishleigh.com. I'm here for you. I help families and couples heal from porn use all the time. So please go over there. There's a variety of different programs in different shapes and sizes. I'd love to help. Hopefully, I'll see you over there. And as always, control your brain or it'll control you.